la 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 la. You know it. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Woo! Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. One more time, a little faster. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Happy Simchat Torah.
Shabbat Shalom, Hag Sameach. We are so excited to be with you tonight, both in the temple parking lot and in your homes, as we bring in Shabbat and celebrate Simchat Torah. And we have a very festive evening planned. But try as one might, we will find no mention of Simchat Torah in the Torah itself. It is the invention of the rabbis. We love to invent things, dating back to the Middle Ages. So why did the rabbis create this holiday? If we needed a time when we could let loose and have a good time, well, that's Purim, right? But Purim offers a different message. The revelry is more of a much-needed release and a relief than a celebration. And what about Shavuot? Isn't that when we celebrate receiving the Torah? While we are grateful to have received the Torah, Shavuot is a serious holiday and asks us to contemplate the meaning of covenant and commandment. Simchat Torah is different. The rabbis understood that time is both historical and cyclical. We have marked a new year with the promise of new beginnings and new progress. But we also live our life in cycles, marked by such things as birthdays and anniversary. And so today marks our anniversary with the Torah, a new year where we will again meet Abraham and Sarah, Jacob, Miriam, and Moses. We will relive the crossing of the Red Sea and marvel at the details of the building of the Mishkan. We will encounter a talking donkey and be reminded that none of God's expectations are beyond our ability. We marvel as children grow and change with each year. On their anniversaries, couples might look back on a love that has matured over time. At such times, we often want to see photos, and we're drawn to our photo albums that have been packed away somewhere, and we take them out so that we might relive a special moment. Tonight, we will relive such moments in our Torah, as 4 of our students will read from their B'nai Mitzvah portions. And because we cannot wait, we immediately start our cycle of reading the Torah over again. Why do we do this when we know the stories? Why do we do this when we know what will happen? Because even though Abraham and Sarah may not have changed, you and I have. I invite you to follow along in tonight's service using the flip book. The link for that has been posted in the chat box. Right, Rabbi Prosnit? Yes, he says. We continue with Shalom Aleichem. If you have your Siddur handy, it's on page 142. Or in the chat box. No, it's not. Oh, it's on the video.
את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
We hope you enjoyed that little video of Simchat Torah being celebrated around the world. We continue now with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Volchem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 la. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mimelech, malchei amlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Seitchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mimelech, malchei amlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. La 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 la. Come on. La 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 la. One more time. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We continue welcoming Shabbat with Lecha Dodi. We will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Yes, we will. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, Lecha Dodi likrot kala. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Lecha Dodi likrot kala. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad. Ishmianu, El Meyuchad, Adonai Echad, U'Shemo Echad, L'Shemul Tiferet, V'Litila. Everyone, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, Echad Dodi likrot kala. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. B'nei Shabbat nikabela likrat Shabbat. לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נשוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך כל מי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, פני שבת נקבלה. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. It is now my pleasure to invite Marianne Scott Lazar to join us up here to light the candles for tonight.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת ושל יום טוב.
We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה, לעולמו יברך חירותי, ימלך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון. כל בית ישראל עגלה ובזמן קריב יש רבה מבורך לעולם מהלמיה וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה אמרו אמן.
Please rise for the Baruch on page 146.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
We continue with Ma'ariv Aravim on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro Ma'ariv Aravim bechokhmah poteach sharim uvitvina meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umasader et hakochavim b'mishmoratehem barkia kirtzono Bore yom v'layla golel or mipnei hoshech behoshech mipnei or umavir yom ume v'layla umavdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai Sevaot Shamo El Hai v'kayam tamid yimlok elenu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam
You may be seated.
Me'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוות.
Feel the connection of them with our fellow community members, but also just feel the warmth of them on this Shabbat, waiting for us all week so that we can have this moment of rest together. We continue with Vishamru, which is on page 162.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please rise.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Oh, Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Oh, Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, Umevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer uMoshiach uMagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morit hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Vishenei afar, Vichamocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue on page 180 with Oseh Shalom. You may be seated.
Oseh Shalom bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Yahaseh Shalom, yeah, Yahaseh Shalom, hey, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom, yeah, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We come to the point in our service during which our community and around the world, our community thinks right now of Zalman Ben-Dina, Gabby Kraft-Buckman, Susan Klein, Summer Curter, Susan Robb, Linda Rubino, Arlene Furman, David Bregman, Neil Silverman, Linda Fleischer, Bernie Weinstein, Larry Maslow, Mason Rockmore, Martin Ostroff, John Hirsch, Pearl Weitzman, Aaron Taylor, Perry Shellman, Susan Schneider, Sharon Nace, Rabbi Rob Nosenchuk, Emily Tucker, Andy Secutris Diorio, Justin Jeffers, Sharon Zidney, Joyce Kagan, Marv Gerstein, Gloria Ostacher, Luca William Battisto, Ina Bott Velvel Dryman, Bill Ward, Scott Goldberg, Rena Golzin, Ruby Glassell, Gloria Saltzman, Emil Vogel, Kathy Murphy, Katie Engel, Beth Miller, Barbara Miller, Eileen Reich, Isaac Billman, Mark Goldstein. And if there are any names that you would like to add to the chat, you may do so at this moment. Stephen Wasser, Toby Arias, Jan Katz. We continue with the Misha Barach on page 370, and we hold all of these names and these people in our heart. We also welcome you to say those names here if you are with us during this time. Misha Barak Avotenu Makor Abraha Le'imotenu. Misha Barak Imotenu Makor Abraha Lavotenu. Bless those in needs of healing with Refuah Shlema, the renewal of their body and spirit. And let us say together, Amen.
Amen.
We continue with our Kiddush on page 123 or as well in your booklets. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, veromemanu mikol hashon, v'kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav. Vatitein lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava, Shabbatot limenucha, u'modim l'simcha, chagim uzmanim l'sason, et yom chag haShabbat hazeh, zman hashmini hatzeret, chag hazman simchatenu mikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim u'moadei kodshecha v'shabbat be'ahava uvratzon b'simcha uv'sason hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat v'Yisrael v'hazemanim. Amen.
L'chaim. You may be seated.
For those who couldn't see the screen, we just unrolled the Torah, thanks to our friends. And we have our Torah out, and we are going to sing some songs and dance, wave our flags. At home, we invite you to dance and find something that looks like a Torah. Maybe it's something that's rolled, a cannoli, something delicious. And we would love for you to dance as we do some hakafot.
Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah.
I don't see anyone dancing on the screens.
Torah,
Gail
Torah,
Freeman's dancing. There we go.
Torah, Torah,
Hannah Lieberman's dancing.
Torah, Torah, Torah.
Josh Greenwood has some nice dance moves. In the sukkah, the barons are dancing.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael.
A very nice Cohen family is dancing, and I think we have Eliza Locks looks like she's holding two pillows and dancing. Sam Cohen, I want to see you dance. Caleb and Zoe are dancing. Nice job.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael.
Roz is dancing. Nice. Lori Peter's dancing. Awesome. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. If your screens aren't on, I bet you're dancing, right?
Am Yisrael Chai,
Am Yisrael Chai. My parents are dancing. There we go. Our entire congregation outside is dancing and waving their flag.
Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Oh Davinu, oh Davinu.
The K-Band family was dancing. There we go.
Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu Chai. Am Yisrael 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 Chai. Woo! Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu Chai.
If you're on the screen, find the best Torah and show it to us. What is your Torah at home? Find the Torah at home. Josh found his bar mitzvah booklet. Awesome. Sam Cohen found 2 water bottles that look like a Torah. Not sure. Eliza Locks is holding the rugs, maybe 2 rugs. Oh, we have some pictures of Egypt. I think it looks like 2 wine bottles someone's holding up. We have 2 yarn rolls. We have an etrog that looks like a Torah. The Katz family has an iPhone with a Torah on it. There you go.
Oh, Hoseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Imru Amen. Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahas Shalom, Yahas Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yahas Shalom, Yahas Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'akol Yisrael.
Nicely done on dancing, nice moves on Zoom. You can be seated. When I was over for the people in our congregation, in our tent, in our parking lot, we were doing some Torah trivia online in the chat box. So we're gonna do a little bit more Torah trivia now. As we prepare to read from our Torah, we have 4 wonderful B'nai Mitzvah students that will share different sections of their Torah portion, and they're all co-hosts, so you'll be able to unmute yourself. But before that, we have to pass our Torah quiz. So if you're in our congregation, the answers are 1, 2, 3, or 4, so you show me your numbers. If you are on Zoom, we ask you to write the right answer in the chat box, and we'll see how many you get correctly. So let's start off with an easy one. How many letters are in the Torah? How many letters are in the Torah? All right, answer number 1 is 100,622. Answer number 2 is 300,805. The next one is 250,000. And the last answer is 8675309. So show me the answers, 1, 2, 3, or 4. 4. Okay, we have some 4s. We have some in the chat box. All right, Josh Greenwood is the correct answer. The answer is number 2. Yes, that is correct. All right, here we go. Next question. What is the shortest Torah portion in the entire 5 books of Moses? What is the shortest Torah portion? Bereshit is answer number 1. Answer number 2 is Vayelech. Answer number 3 is Shemot. And answer number 4 is I've never read Torah, so I have no idea. So give us 1, 2, 3, or 4. We have 3, so we have a Bereshit here. What's the answer online? Mostly given 4. Okay, it hasn't read Torah. We have 3. The correct answer is Vayelech. So if you're a bar mitzvah student, you are lucky to have that one. All right, here we go. What mountain did Moses see the promised land from? What mountain? Was it number 1, Mount Sinai? Number 2, Mount Nebo. Not Nemo, Nebo. Number 3, Mount Moriah. Or number 4, Mount Pisgah. See the answers. We have 3. We have Mount Moriah. 3, Mount Moriah. We have 2. Okay, we have some answers here. So if you answered 3 or 1, you are incorrect. The right answer is Nebo or Pisgah, which are sometimes called the same mountain. Did you know that? You learned that in your 4th year of rabbinical school, I think. So good. All right. What actor did not play Moses? What actor did not play Moses? Christian Bale, Val Kilmer, Ben Kingsley, or Donny Osmond? Which person did not play Moses? Christian Bale, Val Kilmer, or Ben Kingsley, or Donny Osmond? We have Donny Osmond. That is correct, Donny Osmond. What biblical character did Donny Osmond play? Joseph, there you go. Good job. All right. All right. You have to get this one correct. And then we'll get to hear from our bar mitzvah kids. Usually we unroll the Torah. And so people ask me, like, how long is the Torah? And so that's the final answer tonight, the question tonight. If we unroll the Torah, how long would it be? Would it be half the length of a Boeing 757? Would it be 864 Oreos side by side? Would it be one of the 7 wacky, wavy tube guys that you see at car dealerships? Or would it be 42 fruit by the foot snacks unrolled and unraveled? All right, so I'll give you is it half the length of Boeing 757, about 864 Oreos side by side, 7 wacky, wavy tube guys, or 42 fruit by the foot? What is the answer? Vote 1, 3. The correct answer is any of those is the right answer. So if you unrolled the Torah, that's what you would get. So next year we're going to collect 846 Oreo cookies. Yeah. Yes, we're going to get the Oreos now for sure. So good job, good playing, everyone. I think online is pretty good. And so I think we scored enough points to be able to chant Torah from our B'nai Mitzvah students. So we are going to begin with Josh Greenwood. Josh Greenwood became a bar mitzvah, and he read from the Torah portion of Lech Lecha. So Josh, you can unmute yourself in a second. Anyone know what happens in Lech Lecha? Yes. Abraham leaves his home. He gets out of his comfort zone for the very first time. God says to leave. And so let's hear Josh Greenwood. Can you unmute yourself? All right, and we're going to hear Josh chant from this Torah portion, Genesis 12.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amin. V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai El Avram Lech Lecha Me'artzecha Umi Maladetecha Umi Beit Avicha El Haaretz Asher Areka Ve'esecha Legoy Gadol Va'avarechecha Va'agalaha Shemecha Be'ye Beracha.
Wonderful, Josh. You don't have to do the blessing after Torah because we're going to get to the very end. We could do that after our last Torah reader. But wonderful job, Josh. Thanks for sharing Abraham's journey. And so we continue in the book of Genesis. We learn all about our matriarchs and patriarchs. And then we get to Joseph, who was played by Donny Osmond. And now we have our next Torah reader is Ariana Kamen. She was supposed to be in Israel to have her read Torah. Unfortunately, she was unable to do that, but we are lucky to have her join us tonight to share from her Torah portion of Vayigash, when Joseph reveals himself to his brothers after making them jump through lots of hoops. So Ariana, I will let you unmute yourself.
Okay, go ahead. Amen. Vayigash Elav Yehuda Vayomer Bi Adoni Yedaber Na Avdeha Davar Be'uznei Adonai Be'al Yichar Apeha Be'avdecha Ki Chamocha Kefaro Adoni She'al Et Avodav Lemor Hayish Lachem Av Oach Vanomer El Adoni Yesh Lanu Av Zaken Be'eled Zekunim Katan Be'ahiv Meit Vayivater Levado Le'imo Le'ahiva Hevo.
Beautiful job, Ariana. That was awesome. Beautiful learning about Joseph and revealing himself. And then Joseph dies at the very end, and Pharaoh opens up the book of Exodus. We do not, that Pharaoh does not know Joseph. And so we are in the book of Exodus. We learn about Moses. Moses escapes and flees the Israelite people from slavery, and we get into the wilderness. And wandering through the wilderness, Moses learns how to be a really good leader. And one place he learns how to be a really good leader is from his father-in-law, Yitro. And so we are really lucky to have Ben Wensier to read from the book of Exodus, his Torah portion, Yitro, as well as the Ten Commandments.
Amen. וידבר אלוהים את כל הדברים האלה לאמור. אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך אשר הוצאתיך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים.
Awesome job, Benjamin. That was incredible. Nicely done. And so we continue in the book of Exodus. We learn not what to do and what not to do, and also all about what our high priest should be wearing, the dress code for them, about Aaron's clothing. And then we turn to Samuel Cohen, who will finish us off in the book of Exodus. Samuel was one of the last, or was the last bar mitzvah that we had in our sanctuary before COVID struck. We were very lucky to be able to do that. So Samuel, will you chant your Torah portion from Tetzaveh?
Amen. Ve'atah tetzaveh epnei Yisrael ve'hu elecha shemen zayit zahatit lama or lehalot neher tamid be'ohel moed michutz laparochet asher ahedut ya'aroh oto aharon uvanav me'erev ad boker lifnei Adonai ukahat olam ledorotam meyed b'nei Yisrael.
Awesome job, Sam. We are so lucky to have just heard from the book of Exodus. And we will all conclude our aliyot from across the Torah with the blessing after the Torah. Amen. And so it's our tradition that we will read the very end of Torah, and then we will then begin again. And so Cantor Novik has her shoes on. She is ready to read from Deuteronomy, and then all the way from Bereshit as well. We're going to get a close-up of the shoes. So we begin Torah again, and we begin with Bereshit. We hope that you will study with us our Torah every Tuesday at Bible class, on Saturdays, on our Holy Scrollers throughout the year. So we encourage you to look at this Torah. We read it again and again because each time we find something different that connects with where we are at our lives and what it means for us as well. And that's why we do it. So we are going to continue our service by first addressing our Torah and then putting the Torah back to the ark, and we will rise for Aleinu.
Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila Vein Ismacha. Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila Vein Ismacha. Hava Neranena, Hava Neranena, Hava Neranena Vein Ismacha. Hava Neranena, Hava Neranena. Hava neranena ve'nismecha, uru achim, urachim b'lev sameach, urachim b'lev sameach, urachim b'lev sameach, urachim b'lev sameach. Yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim betagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim betagel haaretz. Yihiramayam, yihiramayam. Yihiramayam umelo, Yihiramayam, Yihiramayam, Yihiramayam umelo, Yihiramayam, Yihiramayam, Yihiramayam umelo, Yihiramayam, Yihiramayam, Yihiramayam umelo. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim betagel haaretz. V'ha'ernenu b'toratecha, v'dahapek libenu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachid lehevavenu Ne'ahava ulira et shemecha, ve'lo nevosh, ve'lo nikolen, ve'lo nikasher, la'olam va'ed. Ha'ernenu b'toratecha, v'dahapek b'beinu mitzvotecha, ve'yachid lehevavenu le'ahava ulira et shemecha. Avenu shalom alechem, Avenu shalom alechem, Avenu shalom alechem, Avenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem, Avenu shalom alechem, Avenu shalom alechem, Avenu shalom alechem, Avenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem.
Thank you to Stanley and Jerry and Cantor Novick for bringing the music with us tonight, celebrating the Simchat Torah. Hopefully next year we will be dancing together and celebrating and reading all together as well. We continue with the words of Aleinu. Please remain standing.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
At this time in our service, our prayers turn to those who have died in this season and years past. We recall the loved ones who have died in the past 30 days. Kenneth Richard Diamond, son of Martin and Shirley. Lillian Schmelzer, aunt of Ellen Barron. Julian Greenspan, father of Jonathan Greenspan. Stephen Freelander, cousin of Jackie Mandel. And Barbara Hochman, mother of Stacy Rockstar. We also remember the yahrzeit, the anniversary of our loved ones' deaths. Ava Joan Ashenoff, Harry Barron, Gary Barr, Gerson Burst, Dorothy Cohen, Emma Danzinger, Eleanor Day, Gustav Diamond, Cindy Einstein, Ruth Feinberg, Charles Feldman, Jack Foreman, David Freeland, Charlotte Frisch, Jerry Garber, Leo Goldstein, Julia Scralla, Jacob Greenstein, Zalman Gerdes, Edith Heller, Irving Holt, Melvin Kantrowitz, Arthur Kantz, Morton Karp, William Klein, Marjorie Kreitman, Norman Levy, Alan Levine, Esther Clara Lewis, Dorothy Meister, Regina Millet, Henrietta Muntler, Audrey Oakes, Sheldon Pass, Kurt Reich, Irene Robbins, Haya Rosnitsky, Esther Rudofsky, Sophia Ryman, Richard Schlitzer, Norman Schlossberg, David Schwartzman, Francis Siegel, Benjamin Harrison Schuster, Bob Silverstone, Hannah Wash, Frank Weiss, Sally Weiss, Max Wiseman, Erwin Young, Arnold Durinsky, and Janet Hogan. If you are remembering a loved one this evening, I invite you to say their name out loud and the relation to your loved one or in the chat box as well. As one community, we rise for the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Please join with me. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach yirutei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudasha barichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all who mourn, and comfort the bereaved, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Simchat Torah. Thank you to Cantor Novik for your running shoes and, of course, your Torah reader. Thank you to our 4 B'nai Mitzvah students who are really incredible. We are so glad that you were chanting the Torah and brought it alive for us and those here and those on Zoom. Thank you again to Jerry and Stanley, and, of course, to our rabbinic intern, Becky J. and Rabbi Appel. And thank you for joining us next Saturday at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, we have, we know many people adopted or got pets during COVID-19. And so we are going to do our first ever bark blessings and Havdalah. So you join us in the parking lot with your animal, leashed or in a cage, I guess, as well. Or your pet rock if you don't have an animal. And you can get a Hebrew name for your animal. You can donate supplies to a animal shelter in Newark, as well as kippot for animals as well. And then we'll end with Havdalah. RSVPs are necessary beforehand. I think any other announcements for next week? Bible class on Tuesday resumes again with the studying of Bereshit. Yes, thank you. Services tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. There'll be services with Yisker for Simchat Torah. We will be led by our rabbinic intern, Becky J, as well as Rick Calvert, who many of you got to meet or see during the high holidays. The song this evening is Am Yisrael Chai. Please join us.
Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. O Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai. O Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai. O Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai. O Davinu Chai. O Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai. O Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai. O Davinu, Davinu, Davinu Chai. O Davinu Chai.
Shabbat Shalom and Hag Sameach.